Hey there, this is Julian Wong from the Binary Lab, and in this video I'm going to be doing a binary Forex market outlook for October this month. So I plan to be doing these videos a little bit more regularly, and the purpose of this is to help traders out there like you and me do a little bit better in the markets, to help you win more and lose less. So with that said and done, there's been some very interesting trends that's happening lately, and what we see here is a very weary and cautious market, okay? And that's characterized by, you know, how usually when there's a very strong breakout, that there would often be like a nice retracement, almost instantaneous. But you notice that what goes up doesn't always go down nowadays, right? It usually would come halfway down, or maybe 23.6% of the way down, or but nowadays you find it's often going to consolidate between between the 0 and 11.1 Fibonacci ratio. So basically breakouts and then consolidations, and that's extremely unnerving to trade. So as I mentioned, reversals don't happen immediately, and the thing to be aware of is flag patterns, pennants, rectangles, wedges. And in the binary lab, within the community that I teach binary options to on a daily basis, I simply refer them to flags. Okay, there are many different terms for like up flag, down flag, wedges, whatever, pennants, but I like to just refer to it as flags because that is a representative of anything that's triangular in shape or like rectangular in shape. As long as it's a consolidation, I consider it as a flag. Okay, and the reason why you want to be concerned about flags is because top outs and bottom outs may not be what they usually mean. So usually when it hits a high and then it goes like I said, it oscillates between 0 and 11.1% of the previous move, sometimes between 0 and 14.1% of the previous move. It tends to, it may go from there to a greater strength. A greater strength means it will bounce up beyond that. So a lot of people would instinctively think that, okay, it's gone up so high, I'm going to go down the other way because what goes up's got to go down and what goes down has got to come up. And what people see recently is that, you know, um, when that happens, it may go even higher or even lower. So don't worry, I've got some recommendations for you on the next page, and I'm going to tell you just how to handle that. Okay. So recommendations, I actually recommend that when you're seeing any of these patterns, uh, always check the higher time frames. So if you're already checking the 1 minute time frame, I'm assuming that you're using something like a MetaTrader 4 or a NetDania. You want to check the next higher time frame. So if you're currently doing the M1 chart, look at the M5, look at the M15, okay? Look at the M30 even. So, and often what I personally do is that if I see something is ranging higher and higher, it's hitting like a daily high, or it's hitting like a 5 days, if it's hitting like a daily high, I will also zoom out to a higher time frame. I'll go up from the M15 even to the H1, the H4, even the D1 to see, is this like the 5 days high? Is this the 3 day high or something like that? Because if something that's going high is going to go even higher, so there's really no point in trying to go down against it in the short term. Likewise, if something is going low, it's pushing to a daily low, I would think that definitely such a trade requires more time to swing around. If I would usually go for a shorter period of time, let's say if I usually take a shorter trade about 2 to 5 minutes, in this case, especially if it's pushing a daily low, I would give it at least half an hour for a trade. And let's say if it's pushing a 5 day low or a 5 day high, I wouldn't trade anything less than 2 hours on that because once again, I will still have to, I have various ways to test it and to certify that this trade is more or less on exhaustion. I mean, the momentum is out, and I can determine the best point of entry for that using a bunch of indicators. But I would suggest that you don't even want to try to challenge that. Okay, so if you have a very strong trend, I say look for something else that's ranging. So that brings us to the next point. If it's a consolidation on the M5 and beyond, not affecting you know M1s, they're still fine. Okay, if it's preferably it's M15s and beyond, because that's going to give us a lot of support and resistance levels to play on. So uh, consolidation M1 are best not traded, and take longer trades, as I mentioned. Okay, so in the past, I used to do a lot of these really short trades. Now I find I have to take longer trades. If you get a consolidation at M1, that should not be traded, period. Okay, no matter what, do not trade consolidations on M1. I've talked about the different shapes. We have triangles. I mean, we have triangles. We have rectangles. Um, and especially the triangle ones, because towards the end of a triangle it gets tinier and tinier in the oscillation. In those cases, sometimes you cannot even exit with a profit, so I would stay away from doing that. Take longer trades as mentioned. Wherever possible, you want to go for a longer expiry. If you see that a lot of consolidation is happening, I will go up the time frames and see when can I remove those consolidations. But personally, and even during the webinars that I do with the binary lab, if I see a long consolidation uh, on the M1, and if that forces me to trade in a higher time frame, the longest I would probably go is about half an hour. If I have to take trades that's anything more than half an hour, I don't have the patience to do it. And also, um, binary option, the reward of doing a short term like 2 minute, 5 minute trade is the same as doing something longer most of the time, or even if it's just slightly less. I would rather do, I would rather, I would rather make what I could make in half an hour within 2 to 5 minutes. So I also find that if I have to take long trades, it's going to be extremely tiring, and that actually defeats the whole purpose of me going from Forex to binary. I used to trade Forex, and I got a binary because I can take a lot more trades, a lot less time to make a lot more profit. So uh, that's that's the thing. So with longer trades, weigh the pros and cons, and see is it still worth doing. And of course, if you're looking for buddies to trade, if you like to have a community of people to support you and better corner the markets in this situation, trade with the Binary Lab. So the website is theBinaryLab.net. Okay, and how does this currently affect the Binary Lab? Well, I wouldn't say we're not affected. We're also affected. Okay, um, from the late September to the present, our in-session trades. When I'm talking about in-session, I mean our webinar trades. And you know what? I conduct my sessions from this dining table right here. I mean, this is my dining area. That's the kitchen back there. It's my living room on this side, and my kids are usually somewhere playing about over there. And right now, I think they're asleep. Um, so during the webinars conducted usually around like uh, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York time. So just go work it out your local time frame. Um, we usually do within an hour about 14 to 18 trades. Okay, that's like some of the highs, not exactly highs, but I mean we've got a lot of sessions where we've done like upwards of 14 trades per session within an hour, to right now just doing about 6 to 9 trades per session. Sometimes we even do as little as 4 trades a session. Sometimes it's so bad that after about 3 trades, I decide that after half an hour or 40 minutes, there's no point to continue, because if we see a lot of consolidation, that's just unnecessary risk. So we've been taking extra measures to ensure accuracy, and at the same time, in the past, doubling up has been a very good way for a lot of our members to make money, regardless when the trades don't take off immediately. Usually they can double up based on the phenomena that what usually goes up comes down. But now, like I mentioned, during this month, or during since the end of last month to early this month, even till right now, what goes up stays up, what goes down stays down. A lot of situations like that. So you have to look at the recommendations on what I told you to. Uh, you know, check that it's not pushing the highs or the lows, preferably within a support and resistance level. You have a lot better chance of taking the usual kind of trades. But even so, we're discouraging members against doubling up. And still with conservative risk management, we're actually able to achieve 2 to 5% profits per session. I would still say this is down from what it used to be, but we have actually been making it as best as possible because from increased accuracy, we can actually make more laser snipe trades that actually win. So based on that, several members have also noticed that by dropping morning gating entirely, but simply going for accuracy and raising the stakes a little bit, let's say maybe instead of 1% per trade, maybe going up to 1.5%, we're actually still able to get a very nice return. Okay, but what I mentioned based on 2 to 5% returns, these are the returns that I personally get um, when I demonstrate on the session. So just by following my risk management, exactly that's what students are actually able to achieve, right? So to find out more, visit us at thebinarylab.net. Join us Facebook community where I post replays of videos. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can actually plug into. We have local meetups as well. Sometimes, I mean, I've done like 3 meetups so far in different countries, and the next one could be somewhere near you as well. So do check that out, and we have a lot of events coming out. Our next webinar is coming up on I believe we have one tonight at 8. So if you're able to actually register and get in, you can do that, or you can actually make yourself available for this one that's coming up. That's members only. Details on the website. Do check that out.